today I want to talk about constant criticism, blame, shame and judgment, and how it kills desire, and the different areas at which it appears. Are you the one doing the constant criticism, blaming and shaming and judging? Are you being criticised, blamed, shamed and judged? Also, how are you doing it to yourself? That's a big subject. So if we start with, if you're the one doing it, if you're constantly criticising, blaming and shaming someone else, have a look at the motivation. Where's this coming from? Is this a habit? Is this what you've learned behaviour from how your parents maybe were? Are you feeling like you're not being heard? Are you resenting something? Are you feeling like you're not being loved? And using it as a way to kind of like dig and poke at somebody. Do you think that it's motivational? Is it working for you? And having a little look at all of those areas, because it's actually not very nice. I'm not saying this to judge anyone or make anyone feel guilty. It's to help you move forward. If you're the one being constantly criticised, shamed, blamed and judged, it's having a look again at have I not heard what they're saying? Does this person think this is motivational? Do they not communicate very clearly? Because it's very important to understand that if you think of a time when maybe you have been, let's say for someone who's maybe needed to lose some weight, and someone's gone on and on and on, oh, you need to lose weight because you're fat and you're this and you're that, and you eat like a cow, and I don't know. And was it motivational? Did it make you lose weight? Probably not. Can you remember when you were younger and your parents may have gone on at you, do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you're going to fail, blah, 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 blah. Did that make you do your homework? Maybe occasionally out of threat, but it's not actually motivational. And also, it's that feeling of understanding that where it's coming from, and two, the effect that it's having. Because it doesn't actually have the desired effects unless it's coming from a place of somebody's very jealous and they're trying to put that person down. That's a whole nother subject. So the other thing to understand is that with children particularly, if they're being constantly criticised and shamed and blamed and judged, it doesn't kill their love for you. It kills their love for themselves, which is really sad. And so all of these things without balance can be quite damaging. And actually, for adults in loving relationships, it actually kills the love for themselves. They start feeling less of and not attractive, and all of these sort of like they're not important enough, and all this stuff. It's also important to understand that, or see that, for some people, if they're going home to a partner that's constantly criticising them and blaming or shaming again, and they just in the end don't really want to go home. They just think, what's the point? If in a work environment you're not being, somebody's not appreciating you, and they're criticising you constantly, in the end you just think, what's the point? Why do I even bother? This person doesn't appreciate me. I can't wait to leave. I can't wait to get out. And it's the same in a loving relationship. And actually, in the end, the same with children. Even though they might spend their lives wanting to still impress their parents or seek that pride, in the end, they eventually give up and think, I actually don't care what your opinion is anymore. There's that underlying hurt, but overriding that, there'll be, I actually don't care. So it kills desire. Nobody wants to sleep with someone who's constantly whinging and criticising. So that kills that desire. So it kills your desire to want to do good, to want to be around someone, to want to achieve something. If in a work environment you're trying to get people to be more productive, laying down the law like that may work to a point out of fear. But actually what's so much better is if you were to say to them, oh look, so far you're doing great, but actually we need to get here, or I want to do this, and How do you think we can get there? How can I support you to get there? Or I think we need to do this to get there. How can I support you to get there? It's a much more loving and gentle and productive way to achieve your end goal. Which also brings me on to my passion is the self-talk. So you've kind of gathered from what I've said that being mean like that just doesn't have a desired, a good desired outcome. Kills desire, kills want, need, respect. It just kills all of that. So if your narrative to yourself is mean and criticizing and judgment and shaming, well, it's not productive. You're just not going to do as well. So let me give you an example. If let's talk about your diet. Let's say you're trying to eat really healthy and then you've just eaten a cake. And you go, oh, I'm so stupid and I'm this and that and I just ate that and why did I do that? Blah, 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 blah. Is that helpful? No. Does that make you feel good? No. Does that motivate you? No. So what you want to be doing is say, okay, so I ate the cake. So I'm going to eat an apple or some salad to counteract it. Well, I did that. That was one thing I just did. It's not going to spoil my whole day or my whole life or my whole year. That was just one moment. In a few hours, that will have been out of my system. I'll go for a walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever, and I'll burn it off. And it's a much more loving way rather than judging, because it just, being mean to yourself just, first of all, it takes a lot of energy and it takes up room in your brain and your mind and it stops the creativity. You're much better off going, okay, I did that. All right, I need to lose a stone. Okay, so today, what am I going to do to work towards that? What am I prepared to do? So coming back to relationships, once you establish where maybe this is coming from, communication is key. So when, let's say for example, your partner is doing something that just drives you nuts, you are 100% responsible for you communicating clearly. 100% responsible. So if you're not communicating clearly, as in this exactly irritates me. What's an example? I don't know, they cut the bread and leave crumbs everywhere and it just drives you insane. You say to the person, please could you just not do this? It really drives me insane. I can't stand it. It's a mess everywhere. I can't live like that. And rather than going, rather than trying to go around it in some sort of manipulative way to try and get them to see what you mean, just be frank. If they don't get it, it's two main reasons. One is they don't understand what you're saying, or two, they don't want to do it, or they don't want to change. And both have very different ways of handling it. So the first one is that if you're saying something to somebody and they're not understanding you, then you need to try and communicate it differently. Be more frank, be direct, not rude, but direct. If somebody doesn't want to change that behaviour, then you kind of need to look at ways that you can both work through this. Is this something you're willing to compromise on? Can they compromise in another area? And if it's something you really can't, it's bigger than the bread, whatever, then you maybe need to look at, is this the right situation for me? Do our values align? Do our lifestyles align? The person, people don't have to do everything you want them to do, but if you feel that you is something really, really important to you, it'd be nice to think that they would compromise. So once you understand what it is, you've got something to work with. In a work situation, you can try and communicate clearly to whoever's above you, whoever's in charge, that this just isn't working the way they're speaking to you. Refer them to this video. But so that if they're still not doing it, then it's your choice is, can I put up with this? Can I try and work with this person? Can I move forward here? You can only help someone who's willing to help themselves. You can't be the only one working on something. It doesn't work. So you then have choices. Once you've communicated clearly, if that person has understood you, remember, if you come at somebody with any kind of anger, aggression, frustration, any of those sorts of negative feelings, that person instantly goes to defense. It's just a sort of protection probably. And once the brain is up there, the brain can't learn anything new. You're much better off waiting or walking away until the person has calmed down or until they're more receptive. If someone keeps shutting you down, that's a way of manipulation and control, a whole nother subject. And you need to look at that as well. Why does this person keep shutting me down? So once you have these bits of information, you're trying to clear, you understand why maybe you're doing it, where it's coming from. Am I jealous? Do I feel less than? Am I not? Am I trying to communicate in an underhand way? Once you understand where these things are coming from, then you can either do the work, you can either work together, you can either try and compromise, or you change the situation. You can either get out or find a new job, or if this person really isn't going to work with you, if you can't stand it. So I hope that's helped. I know there's a lot more to this, and I've kind of condensed it just to give you a taster. And I will go into detail with various areas of it further on my video journey. So please comment of anything that resonated with you, like and share for anyone that can help, and let us know how you get on. And if you need any help one-to-one, please contact me or find somebody, and have a good day.